welcome to Inside AFC Fitness. I am Michelle Kraus. I'm the fitness director over at Radnor, and today I'm joined with some lovely personal trainers from our club. Okay, so ladies, can you tell me a little bit about your journey into fitness and how you became a trainer at AFC?
Okay. My name is Charlene. So I actually used to be a mechanical engineer, and I used to work for corporate, and I, was completely unhappy with that career path, and I just quit during COVID without a job, and I decided to try out training because that's something that I've always done since I was 19. I always loved working out, looked up some salaries online, figured I could survive off of that. And then I worked at a couple of gyms, F45, didn't like that. Worked at Crunch Fitness, didn't like that. And then found AFC, and, I've been here for 3 years, and I just love it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, I'm Olivia. I got into personal training sort of similar to Charlene. I had just graduated college at the very end of COVID. And I found that training would allow me to have a nice transition out of college and into, we'll say, the real world. But it was really because of COVID that I got into just exercise to begin with. I always exercised before it, but I didn't really dive in. But I really, really found passion for it during the COVID years. And, hate to say it, but a little grateful for COVID because otherwise I don't think I'd be here. So
yeah, it is pretty crazy. And I mean, I've been doing personal training now for like 16 years. So the COVID is the big, it either is where trainers end it or where trainers start it.
There you go.
So it is kind of crazy being on both sides, but I'm glad that COVID drove you guys to personal training and not away from it.
Yep.
Okay, so what kind of certifications or, specialties do you ladies have that you are kind of known for at AFC?
Yeah, so I have my certification ISAA. Honestly, the reason why I got that certification was because it was an easier exam. I'm not really good at testing, so they said it was open book, and I really wanted a job. So, so ISSA. Yeah,
Yep.
ISSA. I confused it with Carlos's thing.
All the training world is a bunch of letters.
So then that's the one I have, and also did a nutrition certification. So just got certified with that with NCI, and yeah.
Oh, cool.
Those are the
You
only
did NCI. Do you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was so much knowledge. I learned a lot, and yeah, there's just so much more out there about nutrition, and
Yeah, that's great. I've been following the owner of that for a very long time. I love his approach. I just don't really know anybody who has it, so that's great.
It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I currently have my NASM certified personal trainer. I'm also like a virtual personal trainer. I got that certification through NASM as well. It kind of came all together. Just because, again, COVID at the time, I think, was driving that. So they were like,
Sure.
We're just going to throw that in for you, which was a cool aspect of learning as well, how to train people through a computer. That's a very interesting way to go about it. I don't train too many people online anymore, but I did at a point. And I'm currently working on my, through ACE, the corrective exercise specialist, because I work with a lot of older people. That's a really good thing to have. And just in your wheelhouse, being able to assess people and their needs, of course, so the CES teaches a lot about the assessments and what we can do to help with, major and minor injuries.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, I also have my CES, and whenever like newer trainers come up to me and ask me like, "Hey, what certification do you absolutely recommend I have?" I always say that.
Yeah.
Nice. It does definitely apply to older people, but I tell them like I use it with everyone. I use it with my younger athletes. I use it with myself when I do my own kind of training, and I use it with my older clients. So it really does apply to everyone, and I think it's definitely the certification I've used the most.
Interesting. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm working on it right now.
You're doing
so.
good.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, so obviously in our industry, it is very people facing. You are in front of people all day long, lots of different personalities. How do you balance, pushing your clients, but also like them avoiding burnout or injury? Because, it is a balance between the two. You do get people who are like, I want you to push me outside my comfort zone. And then you do get clients who are very reserved and maybe intimidated. So how do you, balance the two?
So yeah, and I have multiple examples where most of the time, like, clients come in and they're so ready to go. And for me, honestly, I give them what they ask for just the first time. And then I just have them basically after a while, most of the time they just come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, that was too much. So I just kind of like, I try to accommodate their needs just so they can see, what it is that they're asking for. After that, most of them usually tend to not want to go that route anymore. So I'll just kind of like tone it down. I try to meet them where they're at. I do my best to communicate with my clients about building good habits first versus just like, going crazy the first time. Because I always tell them, I'm like, anything that comes quick, you lose it just as fast.
Sure.
So I try to communicate that clearly to them. But at first, it's really hard to communicate that to people because, they're extremely motivated and they're really excited to just get the results fast. So I tend to just kind of like, just listen to them first. And then slowly, once they get into, just consistently coming into the gym and working out with me, then I start to introduce like, I tell them about the good habits that they need to build. So just kind of giving them time to get there instead of just like trying to force, trying to force myself, trying to force them to understand, what it is that they need to do. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line sometimes, and it depends on the person you're working with. But you have that fine line of yes, you want to see them succeed, of course. You know that comes with consistency and intensity with your workouts. And like Charlene said, you got to communicate that in the beginning. Tell them what's going to be going down for the next couple of months, if not years. But I had a client, and it was the end of the winter this past year, and he was like, I'm tired. And I said, valid. You've been training for, twice a week with me and on your own for a solid year now. Take 2 weeks. And he took 2 weeks, and he chilled out and came back with fire, So it's okay to have a little burnout, but you got to be able to treat it in the moment and just say, it's okay to take a step back, and then you can take 2 steps forward. It's just finding that line and addressing it.
Okay, so that kind of leads me into my next question, which would be, how do you guys avoid burnout? Because obviously you're working with people, lots of different people per day. Some trainers work 6, maybe 7 days a week. And on top of it, you have your own fitness goals. You have your own, intense training. Usually personal trainers are working out, very hard. So how do you balance all of that and avoid burnout yourself?
So me and Olivia have talked about that multiple times. I also tell her because she came after me, and I'm like, Olivia, don't burn yourself out. But I work 6 days a week, but I'm part-time, so I keep it that way on purpose because I know that I do get burned out, and my feet are killing me right now too because I've been here since 6. But I just put a boundary. Like I have specific like time for myself to work out, and I try not to schedule people at that time just because. I don't know, because they want to. I just tell them, I'm like, look, I need to work out too. So for me, I just try to, put a boundary and, and stick with it, and even with Olivia, like, she's pretty good at, like, saying, like, hey, look, I can't do this person, take this person, So we, I do a pretty good job with just, like, saying, like, this is the time where I'm going to go home, I'm going to cook, I got to go to the grocery store, and I have to work out. So just having a hard boundary instead of trying to fit everybody in, because and for me, I personally I have a number in my head. I'm like, this is all I can do, and that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, so just hard boundaries.
Yeah.
It's tough to learn to say no to people. It's really hard because, like I said, I had just come out of college, so I'm still young, so I'm still like figuring out real world stuff. And Luke, our fitness director over here at Bala, he had to talk to me quite a couple times and be like, I really think you need to have 2 days off, or like, because I still work 6 days a week, and it's tough. Some weeks are long, and they're like you said, we were talking to people all day long, so it's mentally and physically, this is a taxing career to be in. But I just find that it's so worth it at the end of the day because you get to see your clients succeed, and just building the community. Everything here is really awesome, and I love personal training, but you do need to find your own time for yourself, because otherwise it is just you're gonna crash and burn so hard. Yeah. And then you're not gonna want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I think it's the typical fitness culture, which is like more, like push yourself past your breaking point essentially. Yeah. And you are human. And so if you take away your personal time to help others, in the long run, you can't help anybody if you're not helping
that.
yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you definitely want to make sure that you make time for your workouts and your recovery and your sleep. And that's kind of something that we don't talk about a lot in the fitness space is like recovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like go, 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 work harder. So, how do you kind of communicate that to your clients? Because obviously we want to push them in the gym and make sure that they're challenging themselves. But, they all have lives outside of the gym. So some of them are working 60, 70 hours a week, have, kids that they're running around. So how do you communicate to them, like, the importance of balancing that rest and relaxation and recovery?
Yeah, I again, like, going back, like, at first, I just like to listen first, because it's, the thing is, it's like, people think that they know what they want. It's kind of like Olivia saying, like, when she got out of college, like, you're young, you're just like, yeah, I want to work until you experience it. So I let them experience it first. And then a lot, like, I'll get clients who literally come up to me and they're like, oh, like, I want to work out 5 days a week. And I actually don't train people 5 days a week. I personally think that's just unrealistic for an average person. Like, I work out 5 days a week, but I split my body parts. Now, of course, if somebody insists on it, like, whatever, like, I'll figure it out. But I just think for an average person, like, that's just a lot, especially if you're just getting into it. So I literally communicate. I said, look, I want to see if you can come in at least twice a week. And then sometimes, most of the time, it's hard, So if they can't come in twice a week, then I'm like, all right, well, why would I tell you to work out 3 days a week? You know what I mean? And I've already tried working out 2 days a week, and it works. You can get results from that because it's better than nothing. So I usually just have, tone it down, and I just clearly communicate. I'm like, look, let me see if you can at least manage 2 days a week with me or without me. And then, that's when I ramp it up. So I try to start from there.
Start with small goals.
Yeah,
and
start
then-
with small goals, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you need to. Everybody, we all have a life, and we have lives. Clients have lives, and our lives affect their lives. Their lives affect ours. But we just need to. I give everyone grace. I think it's okay if they want to push and they need someone. That's why they hire us, to motivate them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you have stuff going on in your life, it's valid. You're allowed to have stuff going on in your life. And you can do what you can do. The best plan for you is the one you're going to stick to and follow.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to be different with that. And you just have to know how to address that with people. But it's hard because everyone's different.
Yeah.
But finding the one that works for you is the best goal, I think.
Yeah.
So what are some misconceptions that you think the average individual has about working out with a personal trainer? Obviously, we've seen bad shows about personal trainers pushing people to where they're, way past their limits and getting sick.
Yeah.
And that's not the reality of what personal trainers do. So how do you combat, like, what the average individual comes in with the mindset of what it is like to work with a personal trainer?
You want to go first this time?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
I think a lot of people get in their heads. I mean, like you said, we had shows on, especially in like the 2010s, and it was just like hard to watch, and it's because these trainers are, they were so intense, and they were obviously were doing it probably for television, and there's time for intensity in workouts, but it's just ugh. It was a lot. That was a lot to watch, especially like I grew up watching that. So like I'm like a young teenager, not even a teenager, and that's what you expect out of workouts. I grew up and I didn't like working out until I was well into college, So because I found it was not what was shown on those type of shows and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Yeah. I'd say you said the biggest misconceptions that people have about fitness. Yeah. I think to me, and this is something that I preach on my social media, is that, the women don't really need to lift heavy. And that's the one thing that I learned. I think everybody needs to just like strength train. I feel like that's a really huge misconception. And I always preach, I'm like, look, I'm not saying lift as much as I am or as much as, Michelle, you lift or whatever, but like, just try to push yourself. So I think people think that, and I was talking about it with my client today. Like, she said she used to do, like the high reps, lightweight. And I'm just like, dude, like, what are you doing? So I think to me, it's just kind of like the women should should not lift heavy because they can hurt themselves. And my mom tells me that too. And I'm like, I'm not listening to you. I've even had my doctor tell me like, oh, like you should just do light cardio and, when, some weeks. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like I'm not like doing, like obviously women, like our hormones are different. So sometimes you shouldn't push yourself too much. But to me, I think I've seen the best results when you actually push yourself and like, just push yourself beyond your limit instead of just like, oh, I'm going to hurt myself. That's a misconception, I think. Yeah.
I mean, that kind of leads me into another topic I wanted to talk to you guys about, because obviously you're two ladies in the fitness industry, which is a heavy male-driven industry. So we know the misconception about women shouldn't lift heavy, and luckily now more information is coming out that we actually should. But you as a female personal trainer, what kind of obstacles or, again, misconceptions do you guys face when you're either working with your clients or members at the gym? Like, what are some things that you just wish more people would be like, hey, listen, I know I'm a badass female, but, like, I can do the same things that the guys can do, and here's why you should hire me.
Well, I think it's just being a girl and we'll say just like sports in general is, I think it's awesome, but it's also, like you said, there's just like, it's a little frustrating at times for sure, because I think we get handled sometimes in the wrong way. But I think having a woman to be your personal trainer is excellent, because I find that women pay more attention to detail.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We understand emotions really well, typically. I mean, of course, there's the, every now and then. But,
like
so you can walk into your session that day and say, hey, Liv, I am, like, pooped. I am done. This week was really awful.
I like that.
And I'm going to be able to transition out of my plan for you for that day into something maybe a little bit more low-key and a little bit more relaxed to the tone that you need for that day. I'm not saying, of course, male trainers aren't going to do that.
Yeah.
Of course they can. But I find that for us, it's a little maybe easier for us to transition for people and be more open and available and,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think for me, the biggest one that really makes me mad until now is like when some males come in and then they're like, oh, like they don't want to train with me because I'm a woman, And my coworkers have taught me to literally just like, actually, as a woman, now I'm going to really kick your butt. You know what I mean? Like, you think that just because I'm a woman, and especially the men, and I always do, you know what I mean? Not like to hurt them, but to show you, like, it doesn't really matter. It's all about knowledge. So people think that, it is tough because as a woman, people look at you like, you're small and, they think that, that you're going to be easy on them. Or they just have this, like, idea that, like, oh, like, I don't know why this woman's telling me what to do. I've gotten that, And to me, I'm just like, just give me one session, just give me some time. We'll talk. And, and they have some male clients who, like I have a client who's like, Liv knows him. He's like 6'5", and, and I look like so tiny with him, but he just loves that I train him because he's like a big baby, and, everybody's a big baby at heart, but it's like, it doesn't matter if it's a female or male, So it's like, it still grinds my gears when people think that just because I'm a girl, I can't train you. But it's like, no, it's all about knowledge.
I think that goes into anything, too. I mean, like, If had people say to me, oh, you're too young to be training. And I think it can be anything about you as a trainer. If they don't like one thing about you, they might use that against you, in a sense. So it's just how it goes. But
it's definitely part of the business is you have to look a certain way.
Yes.
People want to look like you know what you're talking about. So there's a lot of preconceived notions about, our physical appearance, how small we are, how big we are, how young or old we are. Yeah. But really it should come down to like what we know and how we can apply that to the individual we're in front of.
Yes.
Because they call it personal training for a reason. So how you train your 6'5" client is going to be different than how you train your 80-year-old client because they have different goals.
Right.
But like, your knowledge base is still there, and you need to be able to adapt depending on the client that's in front of you, regardless if you yourself are a male or a female, or whether you're in your 20s or in your 50s.
Exactly.
And I think, again, that's another thing that people come in with, the mindset of like, well, what is this person going to teach me? I'm 30 years older than them. They don't know.
Yes,
and it's like you have to, same thing you said, I got to show them. Just give me one session.
Yeah, and it's also, honestly, and another thing is like you have to really check your heart. Like, are you just making excuses? You know what I mean? Because it's like, is it really about that? Or is it just like another reason to not commit to it? You have to understand like, where is that comment coming from? You know, it's very easy to make an excuse to not wake up in the morning and, I don't know, go to work, you know, like,
Sure.
I'm tired, you know, you know, so it's just like, that's what I learned. It's just, there's always something, you know, so it's just like, everybody just needs to understand, like, okay, why am I making that comment, or why am I thinking this? Like, just make the commitment, like, you know, come in and do your thing and work out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty natural for people to have their walls up.
Right.
I think a lot of people are intimidated by personal trainers.
Yeah,
You know, they
definitely.
think fitness and health and wellness comes naturally to us.
Yeah.
We obviously do love working out, and sometimes it's hard for them to connect to because they just don't have those same feelings.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And that's totally okay. There's days where I train and I am very mad at my coach because I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm tired, and I know I have 5, 6, 7 clients after this, but like, I always just want to know that when I leave the gym, I'm feeling better than when I came in, regardless of
Exactly.
what is going on. And my goal as a trainer is to also give that to my clients.
Yeah.
So regardless of what's going on in their outside life, like, you're going to leave the gym feeling better than when you came in.
Yeah, they always feel better, you know. Somebody will come in and they'll be sad, and then next thing you know, they're just happy. I see it all the time, like
Yes.
95% of the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So true.
Okay, so without it naming any clients' names, give me like one client success story that has stuck out to you where you're like, I'm just going to remember this for the rest of my career, or maybe a story you tell new clients when they might be first, you know, coming on as like, here's where somebody started and then here's where they are now.
yeah, I have that for sure. I have one client. Oh my gosh, when they say consistency is key, that's a real thing. Like, at first, you know, when you hear consistency, you're just like, consistency, you know what I mean? But like, it really is a thing. You know, I have one client, he's been training with me, I think maybe a year and some change. Literally all he does is show up and he shows up like it's his job. You know, even sometimes he comes in, and Liv knows him. He just walks, you know, all slow and stuff. He knows it. I'm sure when he watches this, he'll know. But he's been showing up, and he does everything I tell him. Now, he's not perfect, but he just shows up like it's his life, it's his job. And he has transformed. He's lost 23 pounds, 23 pounds, I think.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it's like, it took some time. But the thing is, I would definitely encourage people to like not look at like, how long is it going to take? But it's just like, just show up like it's your job. You know, next thing you know, a year is going to pass by, and you're going to be like, wow, like, I love what I see, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a client, and she got a DEXA scan, and it showed she had osteopenia, which means low bone density. And she obviously didn't want that to get to the osteoporosis level. So that's what made her come in for training to begin with. So she showed me that. And of course, we have to be careful with the movements that you know, we do together. But we picked the right movements, and we picked the right intensity as well. And then her and I have been training now for well over 2 years, twice a week. But just after only 1 year of us training, she went and got another DEXA scan, and her bone density levels were completely normal.
Wow.
So
awesome.
That's awesome.
that
a good
alone
one.
to me was like, wow, I am making an impact in her life.
Yeah.
You know, her health. And that's the reason why we do it. You know, we do it to improve other people's lives. So that just having that physical proof be there was just like, ugh, it was a good, really, really good feeling.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah, it
feeling.
is.
It's like nice when you get those text messages on a random
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Saturday,
Oh my
and
gosh.
someone's
Yes.
like
It's the best.
super excited about something. It could be as little as like they put their suitcase in like the
Yeah,
overhead
I've
storage
heard
that.
bin
I've
after
gotten
like
that.
their doctor told them to never press anything above their head
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
Yeah.
those kinds of things that happen in like their real life, and they take time out of their day to text you. It's just like
Yeah.
it's very
It's
rewarding.
It's
Yeah,
so
no,
great.
I've gotten those. Or just like, you know, when I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I got it. But
Well,
you said it.
this might spark it. So what is your favorite part of being a personal trainer? Like, what's your number one perk? And then what's your least favorite part, or like maybe the most annoying part about, you know, what we do on a daily basis?
I think for me, I'm not gonna lie. I'd say let me start with the most annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a morning person, and the thing is,
And you've been here since 6
I've
a.m.?
been, 5:30, and like the thing is, as a trainer, I'm learning to accept it. Like that is a part of it. You know what I mean? If this gym opened at 4, somebody's gonna want to come in at 4 because people just want to get it done. You know. So for me, I still haven't gotten used to it. Like, I don't like waking up early in the morning, but like, you know, I would say if anybody wants to be a trainer, that's something that if you're not a morning person, you're just gonna have to get over that.
Oh yeah,
Like
I always tell all the trainers we are working when other people are not.
Yeah.
So early mornings, late night, weekends, like that.
Yeah.
That is the job.
That is the job, literally. Favorite part, like you said, Michelle, is just like, honestly, getting those text messages about like, I was able to put my, you know, my suitcase, you know, like you said, in the overhead bin, or like, you know, like Olivia's story, like, you know, the DEXA scan. That's my favorite, because it actually makes me feel, you know, like I'm not just like helping somebody get like a quick fix, like, all like, you know, now she got an hourglass figure, but like the things that actually matter. Like one of my clients sent me an Instagram yesterday, and she was like, she's just happy that she doesn't even care that she's not lost the weight, but she's getting leaner, and you can see that, and she's getting stronger. She's more confident. You know, those things I think matter long term.
Definitely.
Okay. I'll also start with what annoys me the most. I think with personal training, it's just about, it's always a grind. You're always supposed to be growing. And that, again, that comes with burnout, and it's just the business can be a lot to handle, and you're just always supposed to be getting better and better and better and better, and there's never a time where you're just like doing good. You should always be trying to achieve more and accomplish more, which is a good thing, but it's a little like, it's a little exhausting, you know? It comes with all the hours too, so all that. But at the end of the day, favorite part is just building the community. I think that's a great thing, especially over here at Bala. We have an awesome just gym community where members talk to members. They come up to us and just chat, and we just have a great time together as like one, just up there in the gym together. And it's just great. I love being in AFC, like in the gym with Charlene, with my clients. Like we're one.
Yeah.
I love it too.
It's definitely a community. I mean, I've worked in a lot of different types of gyms in my career, and this one feels like family.
Yeah.
So not only with like the members, you know, training with each other, or like, you know, talking to each other during training sessions. Obviously the staff and the employees, you know, because we're in the gym all day, we spend a lot of time with each other.
Yes.
So getting along with your coworkers and your other fellow trainers who are going through the same grind is super important. And then obviously management, right? Like working with your fitness director, or working with your general manager or your sales team. Like we're all a big team at the end of the day. So, you know, the sales team plays a good job of getting people in, and then us as the personal trainers, we keep them. We're here for member experience, member retention, making sure people are experiencing the gym to the fullest.
I love that.
And obviously staying safe and stuff like that. But if we are all kind of segmented and not working as a team, it just, you know, we lose members at the end of the day.
Yeah. Or being competitive. Like that's the one thing I love about this. Like the trainers are not like competing with each other.
Right.
You know, we're all a team. Like one of my coworkers tells us, like, you know, if Olivia is busy, then that's good for Charlene, or it's good for you. You know what I mean? Like it's good for everybody to be busy helping people. It's not a competition, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have John here. John is a personal trainer over at Radnor. So John, tell everybody a little bit about our new member assessment process, or, you know, why we do it the way we do it for our members.
Yeah, when new members come into AFC, they are paired up or matched up with a trainer, and that gives us an opportunity to, one, get to know them and hear out their goals, their limitations. Hey, I just came off this surgery, or my doctor said I need to do this. And then we take them through an FMS, which is a functional movement screen. Very simple stuff, but it's a good indicator of, wow, I didn't know my right shoulder is a lot tighter than my left, or I really need to work on this. And then we have an opportunity to kind of take them through a workout or a modified lift to kind of give them either exercises, stretches, something that they haven't done before, or different ways of doing something that they haven't done before, to kind of show them, hey, if you work with me, I can help you get from point A to point B, and kind of gives us an opportunity to showcase our skills, our profession, and also gives them a easy entrance into the gym. Hey, I was unfamiliar with this piece of equipment. Now I do know how to use it. I feel comfortable, safe here. Hey, I have a friend, John, that knows, you know, my issues. I can always ask him for questions, whatever it is, rather than just joining a gym and being thrown into the deep end. You kind of have a smooth transition. Hey, this guy knows what I'm doing. He can help me out. He's always there if I need help, or stuff like that.
Definitely.
But-
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is the best way to obviously do personal training is to see how that person moves and how you can tailor the workout specifically to them. So given the world that we're in right now with like Instagram and the crazy exercises that you see, you know, what's like one fitness fad that you are just like so over and hope that it goes away? And what's one that you're like really looking forward to and like maybe opening up people's eyes to like what it actually is like working with a personal trainer?
Yeah, there's a lot on the interwebs, right? A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. In the end, I think moving is better than not moving. So yes, they're doing something, right? If they're sitting on the couch and doing absolutely nothing, they're getting 0. If they're moving and doing random fluff, they're at least getting a little bit more. But is that sustainable? No. So I guess specifically, what's a current trend? I'm a big fan of full range of motion. All right, so if your knee's supposed to bend all the way and go past your toes, bend it all the way. Right, train it to go bend it all the way. The partial squats, not a big fan of that unless your program calls for it. Sure, do it. But so full range of motion, I feel like let's try to keep the shoulder and your hip are ball and socket joints. Keep them ball and socket joints. Right, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. What's a trend that I do like seeing? I think maybe it's not really a trend, but when people do challenges-ish, right? It's not like a one thing. It's like, hey, you do this with me, right? So you're kind of getting one to a group, a class to do something, like a core finish or whatever it is, right? So it kind of brings on more people, AKA community. So it brings more people into the gym or convinces more people to lift. So I guess whether it's fluff or not, you're doing something. I'd rather the fluff be full range of motion fluff.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is something that you would say to somebody if they were hesitant to start working with a personal trainer? I mean, I feel like if I had $1 for every time I heard I just want to I want to get more in shape before I start working with a trainer, which sounds kind of crazy, but that is like the mindset. You know, what would you say to somebody like that as to why it's important to work with a personal trainer versus, trying to figure it out on their own and potentially maybe quitting, the gym?
John, you should go.
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cliche, but you don't get healthy before you're a doctor, right? They're there to help you, guide you along the way. So, and we hear it all the time. I want to get back in shape before whatever. I'm here to help you, at least kind of start that journey, right? So when they have all those preconceived notions of I need to do this first, and then, I mean, sure, you can try. I don't know how long that's going to last or how sustainable that is, but I'm here to help you go from where you are at today. So, hey, whether your goal is I want to work out 3 days a week, but you can barely make one day 30 minutes, right? Then let's start there. Eventually graduating to 2-3 sessions, whatever, eventually where you don't need me and you're in the gym consistently, right? But I think, a lot of people kind of fear when it comes to the gym. I need to do this before I take that next step. We're here to help you, right? Whether it's I'm learning how to stand off of a chair or I want to get a PR back squat, right? Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's to me, going back, I just go back to just kind of I just let them do it, just because I'll communicate that. But the one thing I learned is most, let's say, members or clients, they're just afraid, to make that commitment. So it's just something that I just try to be patient with, I'll have a lot of clients who just go on vacation and then, they come back and they're just scared of me. And I'm like, why are you scared? They're just afraid. They feel like I'm going to I'm like, look, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to hurt you, So just kind of letting them just get comfortable enough to come to you. That's the one thing I learned. I learned that you can't really convince somebody. Somebody has to have the conviction about it, it doesn't work. You can talk them into it, but my experience before, just being a trainer for 4 years, you just have to let somebody get to that, and it works all the time. I get so many people who come to me and they're like, all right, I'm ready. So just allowing somebody to get there. Still, even when you see them at the gym, just kind of still saying hi to them, still giving them tips here and there, just motivating them, continuing to encourage them. through their effort, their little effort, it really eventually they turn around. So just kind of being patient with them works for me.
Yeah, I think that I'll never forget this. This was the best piece of advice I think I ever got when I started my career, is that like you have to meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Not where you want them to be, not where they want to be, not where, society thinks they should be. It's where they're at. Mm-hmm. So if they're not ready, you just do your best to help them see why, working with you is the best. But it's hard because you have so much potential. You want to help them, but they have to want to be open to that help as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I also learned it's not about me. It's about them. I'm here to help you. It's not about how I feel. Cause I've definitely met some, people who used to be trainers and they'll like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I stopped becoming a trainer because people don't listen. I'm like, it's not really about you. That's, I'm telling you, that's the biggest lesson I've learned. It's not about me. You have to be patient with people. Absolutely. And people come around most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest part of what we do is being patient and listening. Mm-hmm. We have to listen to what the person wants, not what we want for them.
Right.
And sometimes that's, hard on our ego. Mm-hmm. Obviously, trainers have egos, and it's not a bad thing. We wouldn't be as good as we are if we didn't.
Yep.
Because we believe in what we do and we believe that we can help people. But it is kind of hard when maybe you want it more than the person does, or you're just having a hard time getting through to them. So I think being patient and just allowing them to kind of open up and get that relationship with you. And in the end, they're going to see it. I mean, I have a client I've been training for years, and I've been telling her, like, you're doing too much high intensity classes. She got osteoporosis. She just loved her classes, and I didn't want to take that away from her, but I kept telling her, like, we got to focus on slowing things down, doing some eccentric, like strength training, lifting heavier. You're a woman. And it wasn't until like 5 or 6 years later where she was like, wow, out of the blue, just like, thank you so much, because it finally clicked for me. And now she's like relaying that message to like her friends and family. And it was just like an aha moment where I was like, it only took 6 years.
5 or
but
6 years.
It happened. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What's one piece of advice for you guys that, maybe a mentor or another personal trainer that, you worked with gave you for your career? Like, what's something that sticks out for you?
I'll go. This is the best advice ever, especially for my personality. It's like training, let's just say working out, whatever, anything you want to do in life, it's all mental. Like it's so hard to explain that to people because people are like, oh, it's mental. No, it's heavy. And it's like, no, it really is in your head, and I know myself, like my attention span sometimes is off. You know what I mean? Like I just, my brain just goes somewhere else. But like, even when I'm working out, like I'll just start thinking about like what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to do after work. But it's just like, first of all, the weight's supposed to be heavy. And it is heavy, but then do your best and tell yourself like, like it's supposed to be heavy. It is heavy, but I can do this, So the best piece of advice is like, it's all in your head. It starts in your mind. And if you decide to put your mind into something, you can accomplish a lot. That's the best piece of advice I've gotten.
Yeah, kind of going off what Charlene said, I think it is mental. But I don't know who said it. I don't know where I heard it from, maybe a book. But I think it changes in the mind. We don't have to do this. We get to do this. So when it comes to the early morning, right, like whether I am working out or I have a client at 5 or whatever it is, they can be as tired as they want to be, right? But I can't show that. I can't show that I'm also tired. So when I wake up in the morning and the alarm goes off, shout out Jocko, right? The first thing you want to do is, are you going to press snooze and say no? No, the first decision is like, let's go, right? You might not be amped up, but like I get to do this. I get to go help 5, 6, 7 people today, or everyone canceled. I get to just go to work, whatever it is, right? So we don't have to, right? You want to stay in bed? Stay in bed. But we get to do this. So I think that changes that mindset for everything. Like I get to have my 8th person today, or I get to go home early, whatever it is, right? So that kind of helps me keep myself in it, right? It's not about me. It's about being a blessing or trying to help other people, right? We're in the service industry, right? We're helping people physically. We're not selling like a physical product, but our bodies. So as I remind myself every day, right, when I'm tired or happy or whatever it is, I get to do this. Keeps me in it every day.
Love that.
So how do you keep that same mindset like for when you're working out per se, right? So you're back to back with clients, you have a quick hour, you're like, I got to get this workout in. How do you carry that mindset into like your own workout?
I know for a fact, right, whether I have an hour or 10 minutes, you can get something done, right? Something's better than nothing. And never regret, right? You never, clients, us, we trainers, whoever, never regret after the workout, right? You're like, thank God I got that done, right? You're not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. No, I'm so glad after I take a class or whatever it is, that walk back to the parking lot, right? Sweet, I got that done. Or, glad I did at least 10 minutes of burpees, something, right? That's better than absolutely nothing. So how do I keep myself in it? I know I'm not going to tell someone else to do something if I didn't do it, right? Like I can't tell 7 people, during my day to, hey, you have to do this, have to do this, have to do this, and you have to work out this, otherwise whatever. But I didn't work out that day. I feel like a fraud, right?
Yep.
So I'm not going to tell you to do something if I'm not going to do it myself.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that a lot. And I do the same thing with my clients. I'm like, I'm not going to make you do what I can't do. Because it's like, I just don't think that's fair, because it's like, I don't know how it actually feels unless I'm injured or something, but like, I don't really believe in, that. So I agree with that. But for me, the biggest one, and Olivia knows this, is I talk to my coworkers. I'm just like, I don't feel like working out. Like, I just complain, because my clients complain too, and I let them, you know what I mean? As long as you do it, like, you can complain a little bit, but just do the exercise. So I just talk to, the people who are in the same space as me, and they always push me. Nobody ever says, no, you're not going to work out today. Like, they literally just make me do it. So just talking to the right people helps, keep my mind focused. And I do it on purpose because I want to hear. Sometimes I even do it expecting them to feel bad for me, and they never do. So that kind of just keeps me going. And just talking to myself and, just mentally pushing myself and saying, like, Charlene, you can do it.
Yeah, we're human too. We like to complain. I'll be the first one that's like, the second my coach puts a thruster on the board, I am mentally losing it. However, like, I know that if I have to try to get into the mindset of my clients, like if I was programming this for my clients and they were complaining, like, what would I do?
Right.
How would I talk them through it? So yeah, you kind of have to talk yourself through some of the tough workouts.
Yep.
So speaking of certain like exercises and things, what are non-negotiables for you guys? Like, absolutely have to be in your clients' programs. Do you have like one specific exercise or a few?
Squats. I don't care if your knees, don't tell me anything about your knees. Like, you're going to squat. You're going to squat to the chair. You're going to squat to the high table. But that's a non-negotiable for me. That's the only one.
I agree. Yeah, squat is king, right? You can deadlift a lot, you can bench press a lot, but if you have strong legs, you probably have a strong mind, right? If you move some weight on your back. I think other than like a specific movement, as long as you're within your program, you are squat, hinge, push, pull, carry, right? Whether you're doing that every day or within a week span, you covered all that multiple times, right? It's a very simple recipe of lifting, but I just came up with this myself. The ingredients are different. That was sweet, right? Like, whether this person needs more unilateral stuff or like we're going to get rid of the barbell and do dumbbell stuff, right? We're still pressing, we're still pulling, we're still hinging, squatting, carrying, running, whatever it is, jumping, right? We're not going to reinvent the wheel. But yes, my favorite exercise, if we're going to choose one for the rest of life, is a squat, for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, I agree. Squat is definitely king. And I feel like a lot of people I'm going to say adjacent to the health and fitness space will tell people, oh, you should never squat below parallel, or oh, you should never squat with a barbell, or whatever it may be. If your knees can't go past your toes, that's my least favorite. But at the end of the day, we all get in and out of chairs.
Yep.
We all get in and out of our cars, right? We get out of bed. We do these things. We get on the floor when we play with our nieces, nephews, grandkids, whatever it is. Like, we squat all the time. Like, it shouldn't be something that you fear. Like, are squats tough? Absolutely. But, like, you do them already. So could you imagine just removing them from your life and never practicing them? It's just a concept I never got.
Yeah, same. I agree. And I love what you said about getting on the floor. Like, I honestly make most of my clients get on the floor. And some of them are like, I can't get on the floor. I'm like, and they learn all the time. It's just a confidence thing. It's a mind thing again. It's just like feeling like, especially some females like are really afraid of like looking ungraceful when they get up and down the floor. And I'm like, I can teach you how to get up, from the floor. I don't know if it's going to be gracefully, but either way they're happy because you fall. What happens if you fall? What are you going to do?
Right.
And that's happened a lot of times. So I like that example. Yeah.
All right. So what is one exercise that you were like, this is the most overrated, ridiculous exercise that not everybody needs to be doing, but maybe is one of the most popular right now?
I was going to say burpees. I do not make anybody do burpees unless it's in class. That's it. I think it's unnecessary.
Burpees are a hot
I
topic.
feel like every movement is valuable in their own. It depends on the person. All right, fine. Something that I don't do: sumo deadlifts.
Oh,
Sumo deadlifts.
I know,
If I'm
that's-
gonna hinge, I'm gonna
neither-
hinge
neither do I.
conventional.
yep.
If I'm trying to compete in a powerlifting competition and my goal is to limit my range of motion and mix grip and chalk up and everything, then sure. But that's
that
not
one.
my goal. So I don't sumo deadlift unless I need to, which is never, and then I'm not going to make someone else sumo deadlift.
I like that. That's mine too.
It's another hot topic, deadlift. Sumo or conventional.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you guys and your own individual fitness goals. What's a goal you have right now for yourself, or maybe one that you've been working towards, that you want to achieve within like the next year?
I guess for me, I'll say being able to, so being a trainer, like working at the gym, honestly, like just being frank, like it's really hard to really help people with nutrition just because there's just so many people, you know what I mean? So just being able to, like talking about like going back to my other client who was able to lose weight, I was really able to focus on his nutrition. So successfully, like hopefully we can find a way to like, I don't know, have some kind of app that will be helpful with helping my clients actually dial in on the nutrition, because I do think that's important. So my next goal is to be able to, help them both ways, push them at the gym, but also just kind of like, help them eat right and, eat enough and all the nutrition stuff. That's my next goal.
In terms of my fitness goals, I think for some strange reason, when I turned 32, the body isn't as young and spry as it used to be. So I don't think I'm going to PR any lifts. I'm okay with that. But maintaining full range of motion and still, be able to lift a decent amount of weight for every lift there is, and is my lifting supporting my sport outside, right? If I'm only good at bench press, that doesn't really mean much. I want to be good at bench press so I can go play volleyball or whatever it is, go pick up my kids, stuff like that. So I think if you maintain all the healthy joints in your body as best you can for however long you can, 80, 90, 100 years old, then that's my goal. Like, I'm not going to PR anything anymore. Maybe, I don't know. But at least maintain full range of motion.
I think you still got some PRs in you.
Yeah.
I think so. I
a
think
good one.
the biggest thing that when you're a younger trainer is you kind of think you're invincible and you go for like, I just want to PR. I just want to lift this heavy weight. I just want to do this. And then as you start to get older and potentially get injured yourself, you realize like, I just want to do this long term. I just want to have some more longevity. Maybe you start focusing more on mobility or stretching, things that you didn't really need to focus on when you were in your, early 20s or first starting out. But like I always say, my goal is like, I want to be in this career, in this field, or as a trainer, like into my 60s, 70s.
Wow.
And I can't do that if I continue to like grind myself into the ground, workout after workout, and push myself. Like not every day has to be a PR. Not every day you have to, in the CrossFit space, RX, right? Like it's okay to take some days where like, you know what, today, mentally, I'm just not feeling it. Let me just do some stretching. Let me just do some light cardio. Like not every day has to be 100%.
For sure.
And I think that that's kind of where the role of the trainer comes in, is they can help you with like, how do I master that? How do I master when I have to do these heavy push myself days, and when do I, throw in some of these more like mindful relaxation type workouts?
I like those. Yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
All right. So what is your favorite thing about working for AFC? Because you both have worked for other, clubs before, other fitness spaces, but like, what is your favorite thing about the AFC family?
I think for me is the people. I love the people and my coworkers. Like honestly, like I get so sad thinking about like even just ever leaving them. I feel like we just get along so well. We hang out outside of AFC, like we just like actually like we're like a family, The members are so sweet. Everybody, I think, I'm telling you, like I feel like 98% of the members are so sweet. And I think it's just the community that we have built. It's like the culture that's been built, it's like there's no room for people to come in and like be mean. And I feel like management does a really good job with like, making sure that like whoever is kind of like, like the bad egg or whatever the bad bean, they just, I don't know, like they just kind of handle that appropriately, or people just feel convicted and are just like, all right, like I look crazy right now, so let me just like, you know, be kind to everybody. For the most part, the members and my coworkers, that's what I love. I think, you know, it's done a good job building like a really good culture, you know, where it's like, and that's something that I feel like you could never just find anywhere, especially when it comes to work. Like I love coming to work. Like I may complain about waking up early in the morning, but when I get here, you know, I'm just really happy to see my coworkers. Everybody's really kind, you know.
Culture is king.
Culture is key, yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar. I think in order, team members and like equipment. I think the team, whether it's our actual trainers, the people above us, below us, whatever it is, like I genuinely like the people that we work with. Right? We're all different. Okay, like some people are really good at Ironman stuff, and some people CrossFit, some powerlifting, whatever it is. Right? So we all have our different specialties. But like, just like Charlene said, if I come to work and I don't like the people that I'm working with, you're gonna dread the entire time. Right, so I like the people that are on staff. Like, hey, what's up, Mike? Hey, what's up? You know, stuff like that. To the people, right? So kind of helps over at Radnor. I mean, there's a lot of people that spend 4 or 5 hours there every day. So they just kind of hang out. They'll do this class, hang out the smoothie, you know, whatever it is. So you get to see them every day. So this is their job, and then they're great people, right? They'll bring you stuff or hang out, talk. You get to know them because you see them every day. And then 3, I think the equipment. So like lifting over there, I've never really had to wait for something. And I think people kind of, it's underappreciated. Like there's a lot of good stuff there, right? Like other than the pool, but like in terms of the actual machines we have and or other equipment, pretty good. Like some gyms don't have half the stuff in there. Or if you do have it, you're waiting to get your set in. So I don't know, like our peak times, I still don't think it's that busy that you're ever fighting for a piece of equipment. So
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I think the coolest thing is the people that not only that you work with, that you get to meet. Like just the clients that you get to work with, the members that you get to see on a daily basis. There's a lot of clients and members that every time I see them, I'm just like, they're so positive, they're so upbeat, and it like puts me in a better mood, even if I'm, you know, not when I first walk in the door. Same thing with my staff. Like, you know, we spend a lot of time together, and like it's very easy to get annoyed or get frustrated with one another. But at the end of the day, like everybody is a team, and they're out for one another, and that's the culture that, you know, I know Luke has created here, and you know, I pride myself in at Radnor is like I want to come into work and I like enjoy seeing the people that I work with.
Yeah.
So it helps when it's the people that you work with and also the people that you technically work for.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're going to do rapid fire questions. Okay, you don't necessarily have to give an explanation to your answer, and try to go with maybe with the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? Everyone deep breaths.
Yeah.
Okay, squats or deadlifts?
Squats.
squat,
I knew that was coming. Treadmill or outdoor run?
Treadmill.
outdoor,
Most used emoji when texting clients?
The laughing emoji.
the American flag,
Okay, what's the most motivating? Either the Rocky theme song or Eye of the Tiger?
Eye of the tiger.
Eye of the tiger,
Okay, unanimous. Favorite fitness movie or scene? Ooh, I stumped you.
that's a
I say Creed. 'Cause I like his boxing scene.
Okay,
movie. Oh, Arnold for sure, Pumping Iron.
there you
Oh,
go. Okay, biggest gym pet peeve
Talking on the phone.
on speakerphone.
Yeah, when people do 4 sets of tomfoolery, sitting on their phone the entire time.
Okay, so phones.
Yes.
Phone's the number one. Okay, do you prefer early morning workouts or late night lifts? I have a feeling I know where you're going.
I say early morning, even though I'm not a morning person, just because I get out of the way.
Okay.
Early morning.
Same thing, early morning.
Okay. Go to, you know, cheat meal.
Burger.
Cookies.
Not donuts?
Oh, cookies and donuts.
Okay.
Sorry.
Favorite workout music or playlist?
I'm a piano.
Okay.
Country.
What's one healthy food you can't stand?
Hummus.
don't know if it's healthy or not, but coconut water.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Are you a coffee before workout or a pre-workout before workouts?
Coffee before.
Cold brew.
Cold brew. Okay. What's your go-to post-workout snack or meal?
Potato chips.
Milkshake from Chick-fil-A.
Okay. I feel like I know the answer to this question, but cardio or strength training?
Strength.
Strength.
If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Burgers? Yeah, I like burgers.
Some good old Chinese food.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. CrossFit or bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding.
CrossFit.
Do you prefer more split days or full body workouts?
Split days for sure.
Full body.
Okay. Swimming or running?
I can't swim, so running.
I think if you swim, you're decent at running. If you run, you may not be able to swim, so swim.
Okay, you've never seen me swim. All right.
I'm hella good.
Okay, the last one would be foam rolling or stretching?
Stretching.
Neither.
Ooh, why?
Because you're going to lay there on your phone the entire time.
Don't have your phone.
Fair. Okay. Before I wrap anything up, anything else you guys want to say? Anything you want the members to know? What you know, tell them a little bit more about yourself, maybe where they can find you, they can follow you if you're on social media, you know, how to get a hold of you at the gym. What do you want to tell the members?
I mean, I'll go. I just want to let all the ladies know I think everybody should get into strength training and lifting heavy. That's my biggest dream, and like just to teach. That's what I do. I teach women like, look, don't be afraid to pick up those weights and lift heavy. And my Instagram is Fit with Charlene, and I give a lot of tips on that and more nutrition tips.
Good for you.
Yeah.
For the members at AFC, I think when you guys get in the gym, right, love seeing you guys in, whether you're doing a class, working out with a trainer, or doing your own thing. I think being in the gym is obviously a lot better than not being in the gym. So whether that's once a week or 5 times, 6, 7 times a week, right, love seeing you guys there. I think it shouldn't be like a chore where you have to get it done. It's part of your lifestyle, right? So it should be like a sustainable thing for the rest of your life. So love when the members are in the gym. I think obviously AFC Fitness has a lot of content on it. Me specifically has some goofy content on it. You don't really need to follow that, but yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Any other questions or anything you guys want to ask?
I do have one question for you, Michelle.
Shoot.
What is your one most favorite and one least favorite exercise in the gym?
We'll start with my least favorite, which is 100% thrusters. I am long-limbed. I have long arms, long legs. It's a long time to get from the top to the bottom. It's my least favorite movement by far. I will negotiate my way out of it for the most part. My favorite is probably maybe not one that many people know. It's either, I would say, a windmill or a farmer's carry. I have had back pain for a very long time. I've spent many months in physical therapy, and those two exercises I feel like have been my non-negotiable. I do them several times a week in my programming, whether it's, you know, from my coach or my trainer or not. And then I guess my probably most favorite that I would say I use with all of my clients and myself is the pull-off press. So if you don't know what that is, come see me. I'll show you. I see trainers use them all the time, but it's definitely an exercise that I think most people don't know about, and I think it's extremely beneficial. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah. What's your weekly workout split look like?
Ooh. So I do full body all the time. My split days are long gone. I do CrossFit. I do enjoy it. However, as I've gotten older, I have done a much better job at knowing when to scale and knowing when to RX workouts. But usually I do 5 days a week of strength training, And then I do 1 to 2 days a week of like corrective exercise or active recovery. That's where that CES comes in. I use pretty much all of the exercises from there. And then I do 1 day just full on rest. Just, take my dog for a long walk, maybe just do some light stretching. But yeah, so I'm doing some sort of movement 7 days a week, but strength training, I would say 5.
Nice. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Was that the right spot?
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I'm very grateful and thankful for what you guys do. I love the training staff both at Bala and at Radnor, and I thank you for being a part of AFC, and thank you for helping all the people that you do, and thank you for being comedic relief sometimes. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.